So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, I'm pretty sure you've seen what Canelo's had to say about the state of boxing. Canelo has just said that we need one boxing. Guys, before I start this video, I've completely forgot to say what I was going to say in terms of make sure to smash that like button, guys. It really helps my channel. It really helps the algorithm. Please smash that like button. I'd really appreciate if you guys smash that like button. It really helps the algorithm. It really helps the channel. It really helps the YouTube push my videos out there. With your guys' help, if there's 100 people watching this video, if you can smash the like button, let's get 100 likes on the video so the YouTube push the video out. They push they push all my videos out, and that way, you know, this platform gets bigger. The live streams get a lot better. The better content. So I really appreciate if you guys give that like button a smash. I'm sorry I keep repeating the same thing, but I just think you guys that are watching me and that are my subscribers, I think it's very important for you to know how important it is if by you smashing that like button, how much it can do for my channel and the growth of my channel. So yeah, so if you can please smash that like button. But yeah, off that now and going back to what Canelo said. Canelo said that boxing is in need of one champion per weight class. Guys, I have emphasized in a lot of my videos that it is so important that we get one champion per weight class. Mayweather has mentioned this as well. It's time to clean up the sport. I have no problem with 4 governing bodies. I have no problem with the WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO. I have no problem with all those 4 governing bodies, and no problem whatsoever. No problem. The problem I have is when they bring out multiple belts within those organizations. I have no problem with 4 champions. Firstly, it makes the sport more commercialized. It makes the sport, and firstly, it gives fighters an opportunity to make a lot of money as well, because if we have one world champion, there'll be so many guys that won't ever get a shot, right? If there's 4 belts, it gives more people an opportunity to become a world champion. More commercial opportunities, more money. It just makes it a lot better for the sport. Now, what I am against is when champions don't fight each other. When we get a situation where Andrade and Charlo aren't fighting one another. The politics of boxing is stopping them fighting each other. And I think more needs to be done. More needs to be done. Otherwise, you know, the sport of boxing is going to be damaged. If the champions don't fight each other, if guys like Jamal Charlo and Andrade don't fight each other, and we were discussing this in the live stream, it's bad for the sport of boxing. It honestly is so bad for the sport of boxing when you have 2 undefeated world champions that are American, that are in the same weight class, not fighting each other. You have their trainers saying, well, no, Andrade ain't gonna get that fight. Or you have you know, PBC or whatever, just not looking to make that. It's not, for me, it's just not good enough. For the fans, it's not good enough. You know, we as the fans want to watch good fights. See, fans won't have a problem paying for that. But it's when you put like Charlo v Montiel, which a lot of the fans look at and think these are nothing fights. See, we want to see Jamal Charlo v Demetrius Andrade, but we don't get to see these fights. The fans don't get to see these fights. And that's the problem I have with boxing. It's not the 4 governing bodies. I haven't got no problem with 4 governing bodies. What's wrong with it? Like I said, it's actually a good thing because it gives more opportunities to fighters to become world champions. The problem I have is the fact that these guys aren't fighting each other. That's the problem. And more needs to be done by the governing bodies, by boxing in itself, to make sure that these fights happen. Not one guy's under one promotion banner, one guy's under one promotion banner. That means those guys aren't going to fight. I feel like the governing bodies, the promotional outfits, everybody should be on the same page, because all of these guys, the governing bodies, the promoters, everybody has a responsibility to make boxing great, and everybody has a responsibility to deliver to the fans. So what WBO have done with Terence Crawford and Sean Porter, I think is brilliant. And I think more governing bodies need to take a stance and do that. You know, make Andrade Charlo's mandatory. Do that. So they have no choice. So they either vacate or they fight each other. And then you can see who's the one that's avoiding. But the governing bodies have to take that stance. See, the governing bodies can do a lot. Because if, like I said, the governing bodies could make Andrade the mandatory for Charlo, so he has no choice but to fight for fighting. So that's what needs to be happen. That's what I believe needs to happen. Canelo's 100% right. This is why Canelo is about legacy. He wants to go and clean up the 168-pound division. A lot of you give Canelo criticism that, oh, he wasn't willing to do that at 160 because there was better fighters there, but he's doing it at 168. It's irrelevant. The fact is he's still cleaning out a division. Whether it's, like, for me, Josh Taylor is the undisputed 140-pound champion, but that division isn't strong. That division hasn't got great champions. That division hasn't got, it is what it is. But at least you can wake up in the morning and say the 140-pound champion is Josh Taylor. We had, Jamel Charlo and Brian Castano. Credit to both guys. They went and put it on the line. They had a fight. Fair enough, it was a draw, whatever, and we didn't get a crown undisputed champion. It's irrelevant though. Because at least we got the fight. At least we got the two best in that division fighting each other. And this is what needs to happen. More of that needs to happen. Otherwise, the sport of boxing is going to die. The sport of boxing is going to die. The sport of boxing isn't going to grow that way. We need the best to fight the best. That's the only way this sport is going to grow. That's the only way that the sport is going to be great. That's the only way the sport is going to blossom. If the best fight the best. Unfortunately, in our sport of boxing, the best don't fight the best. We have undefeated champions like Charlo and Andre not fighting each other. So Canelo's spot on. We need one champion per weight class. I have no problem with 4 governing bodies. It actually gives more sense when a guy becomes undisputed like Josh Taylor. It gives them more entitlement that they've won 4 belts. They've won 4 belts. Imagine the feel-good factor that they've won 4 belts. So I have no problem with that. It's just that I think that the fights, when there's guys that are champions, they shouldn't be steering away from each other. They should be coming close together. Like I said, Andre and Charlo is just a prime example. It's so sad that we've got 2 guys like that in their prime, undefeated, Americans, not fighting each other. Like, it just makes so much sense for them to fight each other. Makes so much sense. From whichever way you look at it. It makes so much sense. But they're not fighting one another. Like, look, Canelo had difficulties, right? Canelo had difficulties making the fight with Caleb Plant. We saw how difficult it was. We saw the months and going back and forth. But the fight eventually got made. Right now we've got a fight in November. But the fight got made. Because Canelo wanted to make it. Canelo was desperate to make the fight. Whoever had to give in, irrelevant, but Canelo wanted to make the fight. Canelo wanted to be undisputed. He wanted one face, one name, one champion. That's what Canelo wanted, so the fight happened. And this is what I believe surely every fighter's goal is to be the best in their division. Surely every fighter's goal is to win all the belts. Surely that's what every fighter wants to do. Surely every fighter wants to be undisputed. Surely every fighter wants to create history, create a legacy. You don't create a legacy by fighting guys that you're supposed to beat. You create a legacy by putting yourself in 50-50 fights like Charlo and Andrade. But I feel like everybody in that 160-pound, 168-pound are just waiting for a Canelo payday. And that's not good for the sport of boxing. And that's why I think those weight classes, the 175 even, 160, 168, are all frozen because of the fact that I think that they all think that Canelo might fight them next. And that was the same with Mayweather. Mayweather at the welterweight division, everybody was waiting for their lottery ticket. Are they going to be the guy that Mayweather chooses? And they were all waiting for that Mayweather fight. That's never a good thing for the sport of boxing. It's not healthy for the sport of boxing. And for me, personally, I want to see Charlo fight Benavidez. I want to see Charlo fight Andrade. I want to see Andrade fight Plant. I want to see Andrade fight Benavidez. I want to see all these guys fight each other. I want to see Golovkin fight Andrade. I want to see Golovkin fight, Charlo. I want to see all of these fights happen. Unfortunately, we're not getting these fights because I think all of their goals, all of them want to fight Canelo. And it's just frustrating because as a fan, I want to see all of those guys fight each other. Because imagine how hyped we would be if there was an Andrade Charlo fight being announced. Imagine how excited we would get. Imagine how much for it we would be if that fight got announced. We would all be pumped if that was to happen. But because of the fact that these type of fights are not happening, Terence Crawford's not fighting Errol Spence. You know, we're not getting, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. We're not getting, Charlo, Andrade. We're not getting all these big fights. It's not good for the sport. It's not good for the sport because, like I said previously, surely the best would want to fight the best. Because firstly, the hype, see, Andrade and Charlo, they should want to fight each other, because if they fight each other, firstly, it's a unification fight. Secondly, it's an opportunity for both guys probably to earn their highest payday fighting each other, right? Because I'm pretty sure DAZN or Fox would look to, put in good money for that. And especially DAZN, I think they would love to have a fight like that on their platform. They would love to make a fight like that. DAZN would. It just makes so much sense. But and here's the thing. We know Golovkin's going to be fighting Murata, for example. Right? If those two fight, you'll have a unified champion. Then if Charlo and Andrade fight, there'll be another unified champion. That means then the winner can get a GG fight. But it's all about, as Miguel pointed out in the live stream, it's all about them not wanting to lose that not wanting to lose their belt. The problem is that surely as a competitor and surely as fighters, they don't think they're going to lose. Surely that's the whole point. Surely when these guys got into the sport, right? Surely that's what they wanted to know. They wanted to know if they were the best. I don't quite understand. And it's frustrating for me because as a boxing fan, surely both those guys, looking at that fight, both those guys could win that fight. When you look at it from Charlo's point of view, Charlo could pressure Andrade. We saw Andrade struggle against Liam Williams. Andrade, on the other hand, we've seen Charlo outboxed, and Andrade is a very good boxer, slick fighter. Could he give Charlo nightmares? And same with Charlo. Charlo could give Andrade problems. If he lands big flush shots. That pressure, that power, that strength of Charlo. Is a big guy. That's a hard fight for both guys. So surely they both have ways that they can win that fight. So to me personally, I don't know why we can't get these fights over the line. But Canelo's spot on when he says we need one champion per weight class. Canelo's 100% spot on. I've had so many conversations about this, that we need one champion per weight class. We've got Josh Taylor, right? Terence Crawford's been undisputed. Alexander Usyk's been undisputed. Canelo Alvarez is looking to become undisputed. We need others to start doing it as well. We need the other guys to start fighting each other and the fights to happen. We need them to start stepping up and fighting each other. And I think like governing bodies probably should start making guys like Andrade mandatory for Charlo, so they have no choice. WBC could easily make Andrade mandatory for Charlo. The WBC could work with, the WBO, and they could come with agreement and make them mandatory. This way they have no choice unless they vacate the belt. They vacate the belt, they have no choice but to fight each other. So this is what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like the governing bodies could make it a situation where they have to fight them, unless they vacate the belt. This way, if they don't want to fight, then, someone else fights Andrade for that belt. That's the way I look at it, man. And I just think that we need to, Canelo's right, we need one champion per weight class. More can be probably done. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think about what Canelo said. Let me know, what do you think? What do you think needs to be done to have one champion? Leave your thoughts, guys. Guys, again, just before I end the video, make sure to smash the like button, guys. As I've said previously, smash the like button. Really helps the algorithm, really helps the channel. Give that like button a smash. If you already hit the like button, you don't need to hit it 2 times. Just hit it once. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the channel, of course. And guys, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.